Commence the meeting of the Budget and Finance. First thing on the agenda is RS 2014-1383. Approves an application for a state grant of $29,866 to the Metro Arts Commission for continuation of an Arts Build Communities program. Do I have a motion? Moved and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1384 approves a grant of $5,000 from CSX Transportation Incorporated to the Nashville Fire Department for air monitoring training. Motion is second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1385 approves a sole source contract with Nashville Cares for the provision of dental services through the Ryan White HIV/AIDS program. Have a motion? Duly motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1389. That, I think we're going to defer that one. We
still need to read the caption.
Okay. Authorizes the Department of Law to compromise and settle lawsuits brought by Pamela DeSoto against the Metropolitan Government and certain Metro employees for the amount of $295,000.
Need a motion to defer.
Need a motion for defer, and duly seconded. Well, it's on deferral, so we just.
We're on discussion on
Right, but we will have discussion on the deferral. On the deferral. Any discussion on the deferral? All in favor?
Mr. Glover had his.
I'm sorry. Mr. Glover.
So this will come back after it's deferred this meeting. It will come back to this committee next meeting for full discussion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
It will be on the Budget and Finance Committee agenda at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of deferral?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes for deferral. BL 2015-1018, sponsor Westerholm and Pridemore approves a lease agreement between the Metropolitan Government and Nashville Classical Incorporated for use of the former Ross Head Start Center located at 1310 Ordway Place as a K-8 charter school. Have a motion? And second, any discussion?
Yes.
Seeing none? Nope, I'm sorry, I thought that was my last time. Councilman Glover, you're still on.
Okay, Mr. Cooper, I'm going to go back to the same question here that we talked about with STEM. I noticed, though, in this one they have a 60-day out. So if they give notice within 60 days, then they're out of the lease, and there's I guess there's no recourse from Metro's part.
Well,
I'm sorry.
if they exercise an early termination provision or right under the contract, any tenant improvements they've made, they wouldn't get any rent credit for that. But yes, I mean, there is an early termination provision.
And I think that leads to my question. How are they receiving the rent credits? Are they receiving them? So if they go in and do, let's just use $100,000 as an example. They do $100,000 worth of improvements. When do they receive that with $10,000 and some change each month for rent? Do they receive that on the back end of the lease, or do they receive it on an ongoing basis?
They would submit the proof of what they've spent on the improvements to General Services, and they would essentially receive a rent abatement up until they reach the point where that $100,000 deduction, I mean, I assume that's the way it would work. So if they spend $100,000, they would not pay any rent until they reach the point where they would have paid $100,000 otherwise in monthly rental.
Okay, and so those improvements then become the property of Metro?
Correct.
Okay. just like a typical tenant agreement? Okay.
Right.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Glover. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. BL 2015-1019, authorize the Director of Public Property Administration to execute a deed transferring property located at the northwest corner of 38th Avenue North and Charlotte Avenue to the state of Tennessee for use in connection with the I-40 East Ramp Improvement Project. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion.
There actually is a housekeeping amendment on that one on 1019, but we don't have to do it in committee, so that's fine.
Okay. Motion passes. BL 2015-1021 sponsors Council Lady Moore, who has provided a letter, authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and other property rights for the Leland Lane and Kirkland Avenue Sidewalk Improvement Project. So duly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes, and that concludes the Budget and Finance meeting.